Hello, welcome to Maya Tome. I'm Tiana,
I'm Elizabeth.
and we talk about Japanese dating sim and visual novels. I think that was the intro.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, yeah. So we're moving on to our new series, Rose and the Embers. I've talked about it a few times before, but I've always butchered the name
hmm
because I thought it was like Tangled in the Briars or something like that.
Yeah.
I knew there was a rose and
I think you called it like Briar and the Roses.
Tangled in the Briars. I called it every other name than what it actually is.
Yeah. But it's okay.
Yep, Rose and the Embers. So this is basically this is, I would say, Kissed by the Baddest Bitter, but better people. None of them actively hate you or hate women.
Well, that's a plus.
It's much weirder because it's all set in the Meiji period, which the Meiji period was like the 1800s or late 1800s to early 1900s. I think it ended in 1912 or 1918, around that time.
Okay.
So we're going back in time, back to the woman hating times.
Yippee.
Women empowerment, yay! When women empowerment just meant not getting beaten by your husband.
That's so sad.
When woman empowerment meant I can pretend I'm in control.
When
Oh my god.
it meant I only have to have one child.
I can have one child and then I can do whatever I want.
hmm
But I'm still a slave, technically. I'm still property.
When it meant if your husband dies, you get freedom.
We'll be lucky for even that.
hmm You'll be lucky if you're
So,
carried off right away.
when it also meant being married at 18 or younger.
The moment you hit puberty, out the door.
Marriage.
We laugh about it, but if that was nowadays, I would probably bawl my eyes out.
Yeah. Also, when your virginity was like all people cared about.
Yeah. When even getting kissed on your hand was like a whole crime and you were tainted.
And I didn't even send you all the screenshots, to be honest.
And you said,
Yeah, yeah, I still have 10 more.
oh my gosh.
Because some of the stuff was funny, but then at the same time, I'm just here like, let me show you how many times they mention that you're a virgin. Drink every time they say virgin.
You'd be piss drunk right now.
It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible how many times they mention it. But the prologue.
Woo.
So, you know how we always start in like the present and then go to like the past, like 14 hours earlier,
Yes.
because it's that kind of story.
A good SpongeBob moment. Oh wait, no, that's normally later, isn't it?
Yeah,
I wasn't allowed to watch SpongeBob.
you got the gist of what it meant.
Yeah, I tried.
So, shit, my throat.
I was so confused.
So it starts at money being thrown on the ground, and they're all like 100 yen bills, which 100 yen is not that much.
But back
But
then,
I was like, maybe it's different.
yeah,
Because like 100 yen is equal to like $1
you're worth
now.
$1.
So a man comes up to you and says he paid his money. Now come with him, and he calls you Cinderella because he's your master tonight.
Okay.
You're rightfully confused because the man who bought you has basically the whole capital under him. And then several hours earlier, so you're in Meiji period Tokyo, in the Ginza district, which I've been to Ginza at night because I wanted to go to a vampire cafe, but that's the only time I've been to Ginza.
Oh.
Because I can't afford to go there.
Oh.
That's where you spend money. That's where all the brand name shit is at.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I don't have money like that.
Mhm.
So, you've come from a small town village, and this is all Western and new to you. Everything's like all technological. So we'll give her a pass on a few more things.
Okay.
I personally think MC is a lot smarter in this story than Bought by the Baddest Bidder, which is crazy, considering.
But that doesn't take much.
Well, true. But I also think it's crazy that you're a lot smarter since you're from like a small town farm village. I was like, I give her more passes here than I would just because she's from a village. And so you're in the big city work and you have a job at the inn. It's giving Hallmark movie.
It really is.
So while looking at the map, you almost get hit by a carriage because you're standing in the middle of the road.
Of course.
Luckily, the carriage stops and the driver kind of chastises you and tells you that he almost hit you.
Yeah, we noticed.
Yeah. So they also have title cards for the characters in the story. So, our icy and aloof soldier, Takahista Togo, comes out and basically you freak out because he's a soldier and he's like about to pull out a katana.
Mm.
And he tells you, go die somewhere else. If you want to get hit by a car, go get hit by a car somewhere else. Don't do it in front of his carriage.
Okay, then.
Yep. And then he tells you to move.
Naturally.
So you get mocked by every bystander because you didn't know that you were in the middle of the road. And they're all like, look at this little hillbilly.
Little hillbilly. Oh my god.
Yeah. And they're just glad you didn't die on his carriage and ruin it.
Jeez.
Women are property.
I know, it's just.
When they actually play into it, it's kind of hard to be like, are you guys good? Are you guys okay?
Mm-hmm.
They really said, don't die on his carriage. You're changing his carriage.
Mm-hmm.
So as you pick up your stuff, someone helps you and they pick up your map and tell you where Kobairo is, which that's the inn that you're living at and working at.
Okay.
Please don't ever work where you live. I don't recommend it.
It's never
good. So that happens to be the author, the brilliant and enigmatic author, Tsukumo Kobayakawa. They have the longest fucking names ever. I don't ever use their.
Is that why you gave nicknames?
Yes.
Okay.
I use their first names or either a nickname that I've given them.
Okay.
Mostly, my boy sugar daddy Kyosuke.
Okay.
Because that's all he is. He's just a sugar daddy.
It makes sense. It's very fitting.
He's like Isaac, but he's actually funding everybody.
He's not saying, hey, can you Venmo me for the one chip you ate out of the bag? Thanks.
I want reparations for helping you.
Mm-hmm.
So you chat and tell him that you're working to support your family since your dad is sick and you got paid up front. And he's like, oh, you got paid up front? That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. And then he tells you guys might meet again. And you're confused because, like, that's weird. Some random dude in the middle of the street telling you that you're going to meet again.
Yeah, after saying, oh, it's weird that you got paid up front, but okay.
Yeah, he tells you that he's a...
Wait a minute, I'm noticing a trend. Why is it that whenever you're getting bought, you work and live in an inn or a hotel of some sort?
I guess that's the easiest way to get rid of you.
That's the easiest way to get human trafficked. Everybody, don't work or live at a hotel. I mean, if you need to, I guess, but like, don't get bought.
I mean, a lot of hotels do human trafficking now, so...
Don't get bought. Don't get sold. It's as easy as that.
As if that isn't something that's common sense.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, you never know. Clearly, the MCs don't have that.
She doesn't have a choice in majority of this.
Okay, well, she's different. The other MC.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she kind of just went along with them, was like, I guess I'm gonna get sold. Mm-hmm. Never even thought about going to the police after they told her.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, I mean, like, I don't think they would have done anything, but because it's Isaac, but... Yeah. So, as you start to leave, he starts whispering, be careful, horde fiends and clever masks run rampant in these streets. Fucking artists.
Yeah, okay. Shut up with
writers.
Your words. Just stop.
I'm just here like, who do you think you are, Edgar Allan Poe?
Apparently.
I mean, I know he's an author, but still.
Don't need
calm yourself.
Pretty words at everybody.
Don't speak in riddles. Tell me what the heck is going on.
You're not the Cheshire Cat. Calm down.
Yeah, but while he's also doing his best horror movie impression, he continues with eyes forward and you'll be pulled under, but let yourself get distracted and you may find yourself beneath the carriage instead of on it.
Is that supposed to mean something to me?
Yeah, don't know what.
I'm just from the perspective of a small town girl in this big city, hearing all these words, she's probably just like, What do you want? What are you saying?
Yeah. And then he leaves.
He's on.
Oh, wait, no, he doesn't leave yet. He smiles and tells you, don't forget, hearts can see too, and then leaves.
Man's tweaking. He's on something.
And you're like, what the heck was that?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
That,
Okay.
like,
Whatever that was.
okay, man with words. Bye.
I don't know what any of that meant, but okay.
I'm gonna just go back to work. Or try to
So you meet the mistress of the inn. I don't know how to say her name. I don't know why I wrote it. She's never called by her name ever again. She's just called mistress the whole time.
Okay. You can just call her mistress.
Or the proprietor. So her name is not even, like, relevant to the story, but, I mean, she's a woman anyways.
Yeah. So those stupid women.
Who cares? She doesn't need a name.
No.
She's just a woman.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
so
know, if we weren't women, we'd get canceled so fast.
it's a joke to us.
Yeah.
We're actually making it known that it's a joke and we don't actually believe this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Other women, though, who believe this, no.
Gosh, I can't stand seeing those, like, podcast clips, and it's like they have this guest speaker, and she's like, I'm just supposed to be property to my man. Girl! Anyways.
Somebody needs to put you in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Put you in the kitchen and see how it feels.
Podcast.
So, yeah. So she tells you that she paid up front and she owns you and will work you to the bone. Because, what else would you do?
So is she not going to pay you at all anymore outside of the one payment?
I guess not. It never occurred to me.
Yeah.
That thought never occurred to me. I was just over here like, yeah, she paid me up front. Now she owns me. At least it's a woman owning me. Actually, that's even worse.
Yeah, especially during that time.
Because women are crueler.
Yeah, fuck women.
Figuratively,
and if you want to literally, but that's a you thing. Don't take my word for it. Don't put my gospel. I meant it.
Especially with how the whole, instead of man versus bear, they're like, what would you do? White woman versus a white man in a conference room. And all the black women are picking white man. But which one is going to be worse?
The white woman. I say as a white woman.
Please don't cancel me.
No, that's why you have me.
Oh, okay. And then you agree that you'll be worked to the bone and that you're going to work as hard as possible.
You see, if you did not negotiate, if you were going to be paid more for the work that you're doing outside of that one-time payment, why are you just like, okay, I'll work however long you want me to? Oh my gosh, hold on.
I think you do get paid extra, but it's also going off to pay off
your debt.
Yeah, because when they paid you up front, you now have...
That's a... Okay, Miss Scam Artist over here.
Because they own you.
No, because then it's just a purchase. It's not debt. It's just a purchase.
But you would have to pay them all the money.
They pay for you?
A lot.
$1?
A lot.
Okay.
A lot of dollars.
A lot.
So she tells you that you will provide anything that the customer asks for, which is already a red flag.
Yeah, what if someone asks for sex?
And tells you to never say no to the customer. No matter what the request is, if you want to survive there. And sends you off to work.
What if I don't want to survive there?
And you don't question this at all, because, you're dumb.
Yep.
You're a dumb farmhouse girl. And this isn't crossing your mind. Not that it would have crossed my mind either if I lived in the country my whole life and then came to the city to work.
Yeah, I would honestly probably just be like, this just must be how they do it. It's a different ballgame.
Yeah. So, as the mistress takes you to the maid quarters, you see a cat, and you decide to chase it because, for some reason, MC loves to chase animals.
I mean, she grew up in the country.
So, it goes behind a door, and you accidentally, lean on the door and open it, and you see rumpled sheets and a naked back of a woman. and you end up locking eyes with a man over her shoulder. You freeze. He teases you for peeping and calls you a naughty kitten, and that you need to be trained. This is our painter, reclusive and shameless painter, Misao Higuchi. Yeah.
I was so excited for the artist. Now met with disappointment. Ugh.
You're always met with disappointment with our artist.
I always am. I get excited. You know, I should know better, but like I get so excited because I'm like, yes, an artist. And then I'm
You
like,
should have known better with the screenshots I sent you.
you're right. It just didn't cross my mind that that was going to be the same guy. I was like, maybe she only sent me the bad screenshots. I was holding out hope.
He's not a bad guy, I promise. He's not terrible.
Okay.
I mean, his storyline is not the best. He's not terrible, I promise. I was over here like, oh my god, this man is kind of great. Wait, is this all this shit? That wasn't supposed to happen. Well, I fucked up that braid then. Never mind, I guess I have to redo this one. But, so he comes out of the room.
Fuck for a second there.
I had hair in my mouth, and I just hear like,
It came off as you. I noticed like that's what you were doing, but it came off as you making sound effects for him walking out, and they were just the worst sound effects ever.
so he comes out of the room, and the mistress apologizes for you, and then, yeah, she makes you apologize for peeping. For being a peeping
You were just
or peeping Jane.
looking for.
Yeah, you were. Not to mention
But
he's gonna call you a pussycat for the rest of the time.
oh, I was about to say. Sadly, she saw a different kind of pussy. But
Pussycat and Little Princess are your names. Or your nicknames.
Little Princess isn't too bad.
Pussycat is.
Yeah.
So Misao's checking you out, and he determines you're so untainted and pure as the German snow. Lovely, lovely, lovely time. Lewd comment and a warning to be careful of the guests tonight. And then he closes the door and goes back to doing what he does.
Man paused fucking to come out and tell you you look really pure and innocent. Careful of everyone else. I'm a clock back in. Okay.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Later on, so you're sleeping the entryway, still thinking about Misao, because, like, that was the first time you ever seen anything like.
Oh, I forgot his name was Miso. I thought you were talking about soup. Maybe I'm hungry.
So then you realize you need to change because guests are coming in, so you can serve at the party. And then you greet the geishas, and they call you filthy, and you realize that you're covered in soup, and you look like you're having a Cinderella moment, okay? So, bruh, they told you that you ruined their night because you're so dirty looking and so filthy and so poor.
Damn, these geishas are mean.
And then you reprim yourself for looking dirty and poor because you're like, I shouldn't have talked to them while looking like this.
You're working.
Yeah, and then you claim that you need to get used to the heartless comments and the heartless remarks that the people make because you have a high society clientele and you need to do better, which I understand the sentiment
Yeah. Because she
in saying that.
to adapt to survive in this.
But at the same time, this is also your first day, girl.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be that hard on yourself.
You're having one hell of a first day, though. Oh my gosh. You catch
So some polished
you should-
leather shoes come into view, and they make a comment saying that Cinderella can't have her beauty without her cinders, and they give you a handkerchief.
Aww.
You look up, it's our lord, our Kyosu. Yeah, his last name is Takakus.
Okay.
It's a long. I've never been able to write his last name or even remember it. He's always Sugar Daddy Kyosu to me.
Makes sense.
So you look up at him and you don't take the handkerchief because, you're poor. You don't deserve it. He laughs and you're kind of, y'all are interrupted by the geisha because they're like over here dying for this man.
Who wouldn't die for a sugar daddy?
Of course. And he kind of ushers them off to get them off of your back and just kind of pretends like none of that happened after all of that. And so then the maids start talking crap about you because he talked to you and you're like, who is he? Who is this man?
You poor little country bumpkin.
So you find out he's the son of an earl.
Of a what?
Earl, like royal earl. nobility.
Okay. I thought you were saying Earl, like the name, and I was like, is that supposed to mean something?
No, he's the son of an earl. Wow, this look came out nice. Whatever.
Sorry. I was reading.
No, because I was like, I'm getting distracted to myself because I'm like, I look nice. This came out nice. So you're in charge of tray serving for Master Tanazaki, which random dude out of there, and he makes you pour his drink, and you're like, isn't the geisha supposed to do this? Am I supposed to pour the drinks here? Maybe it's different here. So he's creeping you. Yeah, but he's checking you out like most creepy middle-aged men
Mm-hmm.
who don't have wives do.
Mm-hmm.
This is about to get weird. I mean, not weird, but where am I at?
Checking us out.
So he grabs you, and you're about to leave because you're like, maybe it's time for me to go. And he tells you you're not allowed to say no. You're not allowed to say no, and you're like, oh, this woman surely isn't pimping me out to this man, right? Right? She's not pimping me out.
You
No
thought,
one said anything about this. So he calls you naive and asks you, why would the inn pay a fortune for a farmer's daughter if not to use her for special services? Which he got a point.
yeah.
Hate to admit that he has a point, but he has a point.
How does he know who you are and where you're from?
Well, he knows who all the new girls are.
Pervert.
He goes after new girls. Every time they have a new girl, you don't believe him and try to leave. He grabs you by the shoulders and you start to give in so your family isn't put into debt. And Tanasaki is thirsting over having a virgin because, virgins.
Yeah.
You kick him off and he falls into the sake and you run. You run into the mistress in the middle of the hallway because you were making a ruckus, and she apologizes to Tanazaki and chastises you. Yeah, you get chastised. So then you protest, and she reminds you that she bought you, and then you realize that she purposely paired you with him, and no one will help you. People start to gather, they find your situation funny, and you realize that Tsukumo was right. The author, he was right. Rich people are monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Eat the rich. Yeah. So the mistress demands a refund if you can't do what you're told, with a penalty charge as well. She said she's gonna get all her money's worth.
Mm-hmm. Jeez.
You protest, so she tells you to get on your hands and knees and grovel to Tanazaki. And Tanazaki's like, ha ha ha, I want her to apologize to me in private all night.
Gross.
So Tanazaki grabs you, and you're about to accept your fate because what else can you do at this time period? And then, my man, my sugar daddy, Kyosuke comes in. He interrupts. He's on the balcony with his friends in tow. He's like, what's going on here? What's all the ruckus? Who's ruined my party vibes? Yeah. So, of course, they try to say it's a misunderstanding going on. And Misao's like, how is it a misunderstanding if a woman ends up disheveled and over here trying to run away? What kind of misunderstanding is that?
Ooh. Slay.
Yeah, so Tsukumo actually checks on you. He actually makes sure if you're okay, gives you his jacket, because you're the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's checking on you at least.
At the very least.
They're all super famous. Everybody's like, oh my god, look at these four men. Oh my god. Can't believe they're here. So Kyosuke's like, okay, since she obviously don't want to be here, I'll price match. Tanazaki tries to protest because, he thinks he has a say in any of this. But Takahista, my lovely captain, he tells him to just shut up. Shut up and stop talking. Weird comment I can't defend about my virginity being lost. Oh, yeah, because I think it was Kyosuke talking about it'd be vile if she lost her virginity to this monster.
Dang! Whoa!
That's why I was like, weird comment about virginity. I can't defend.
It's weird, but I guess trying to
Like, thanks, I guess.
thanks for the assist, if that's what this is.
You assisted in a weird way, but thanks, I guess. So then he says, okay, since you want to protest, I'll double the price. I'll pay double.
Man said I have disposable income. Keep trying.
And then he claims the matter is settled, and then he takes some money out of his pocket. and just throws it.
He has
Yeah.
it in his pocket?
I don't know. I don't know why he just has, like, who the heck is. It's always been weird to me because I'm like, why are you carrying around that much money
No.
in your pocket?
Maybe in case of emergencies, I guess? But, man, I don't know.
Couldn't be me. I'd be too scared of being robbed.
Agreed. At least with a card, I can call and be like, hey, it was stolen. Please stop.
Yeah, and then he holds out his hand for you because, that's the end of the.
The hell?
Yeah, I read this as like 4 or 5 years ago. So it was about 18, 19 when I read this. Still one of my favorite stories. I mean, I feel like it's more complex.
How many chapters does this one have?
It's only 13.
Only 13? So we're
I
gonna
literally,
we're gonna be going through 13 right now?
yeah,
In one video?
we always go through 13.
It doesn't feel like 13. Holy shit. That's a lot. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, we always go through 13 because Bought by the Baddest Bidder was 13 too.
It doesn't.
Except for, Ryan's story. His had those secret endings and secret,
Yeah. He had extra bullshit. But I love him. He's a.
So, you end up taking Misao's hand, and he reminds you that he warned you earlier and you ignored him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just here like, okay, how was I supposed to know what the heck you meant?
Yeah, Mr. I speak in riddles.
No. He was the one who told you that you should be wary of the guest tonight.
Okay.
Yeah. But still, at the same time, how am I supposed to know what you meant?
So that's the artist?
Misao's the artist.
Shit. I thought the guy who was being creepy was the artist. And I was like, how is this gonna get any better? Like, this is terrible.
Tanizaki is just a random bystander.
Okay,
He's just a random character that makes all this stuff happen for you to get bought.
okay, gotcha.
Misao is the artist.
Miso is soup. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Miso is
And then Tsukumo is the author.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. He was actually my first, Tsukumo, and then I only read him once and never again.
Oh damn.
It's super sad. He didn't deserve that from me. He's a great guy. So then he pulls you into his arms. You're pressed against his exposed bare chest because, he wears his kimono open. He's not conservative.
God damn it, Miso.
So you're trying to squirm out, and then he brings his lips to your ear and then tells you to stay still. He's filling up those virgin arms of yours.
Hey, okay.
Yeah. Filling up those virgin arms and let you go after he gets a reaction, which, I mean, you're blushing and all like, oh my god, he touched my virgin arms.
Not the arms. Anything but the arm.
And he also makes a joke about how you not being his type because you're a virgin. And Miso claims he was just fixing your clothes for you. And he also says that you're not his type because you're such a virgin, it's a turn off.
Okay.
It's like, dang. Okay. 5 minutes in.
Yeah. 5 minutes in and your virginity has been overtly mentioned.
Drink twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you realize he did actually fix your clothes. He wasn't just saying that to be saying that. He did fix your clothes. But Tsukumo is not impressed because he's like, you didn't need to touch her to fix her kimono. You didn't need to be all over her and pulling her close to you like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. Get away from her.
Mm-hmm.
So Misao's trying to plead innocent while talking about how your skin is so silken and soft and virginal. Yeah.
Okay.
Bro leaves, but at the same time, he can't help but say, it's been an honor to be the first man to touch your virgin.
Okay. Jeez, man.
You're given to Kyosuke, but he's like, I don't know what to do with you. I just kind of bought you to buy you.
I bought you to show I have more money than she.
This pisses off Tsukumo, because he's like, bro, what? What you mean you just bought her and you just don't know what to do with her? Kyosuke admits that he didn't think this one through. He's just, you're like, yeah, I'm a good guy, right?
Yeah. I did the right thing. I bought a human being from another person.
I saved her from slavery.
Yeah. by buying her again. She's not traumatized.
And then he was like, I was just kind of caught up in the moment. You're freaking out because you're homeless now. Because remember, you don't have a job now, and you're also homeless.
Yeah. Reasonable
So
thing
then
to be out about.
he tries to palm you off to the captain. And he's like, hey, Captain, you got a little sister. They look close in age. Why don't you just give her to your sister? And the captain, he's like,
y'all.
no. Immediately. He immediately says, like, no one wants to take you in at all. And they just kind of keep pushing you around in the little circle they made, trying to pawn you off to each other. And Kyosuke's like, okay, well, since Misao is the one that took your hand and he helped you up, he takes you. No choice.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah, and then you, being the dumb farm girl you are, you're like, I'll do anything if you just take me in. Just please take me in. Please let me stay with you.
Oh, you dumb bitch.
That surprises the guys. And Misao's like, anything? Anything? Kyosuke's trying to tell you that you can't just say that to guys like him. And of course, you choose to rethink it, but then, like, you don't really have a choice. You're like, I don't have a choice. I'll do anything, I guess.
Yeah.
So you follow him to an empty room and he starts stripping you before you even realize what's happening. You tell him to stop, and he tells you that you ain't doing it for him. And then he gives you a key to make you a little less pure.
What the fuck? Okay.
Miso tells you you still don't have the muse, and your plea to do anything was cute, but you ain't. You slap him because it finally registered in your mind that he gave you a hickey.
It took you that okay.
Because I mean, like, still in.
Okay.
You run out of the room into the courtyard, scared because you thought he was trying to assault you. Which, I mean, that man has told you like 3 times now that he's not into you, but
You ran out into the courtyard naked?
no, 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 no. He didn't get that far. He tried to do. He tried to undress you as much, not as much as he could, because he he's he doesn't make he doesn't have girls fully naked. More like he just, you know how you have those pictures where like there's a woman in the kimono and she's just like, it's off her shoulders and it still looks sensual and sexual? That's basically how his paintings are.
Okay.
And that's basically how he dresses his women.
Okay.
It's all cleavage and bare shoulders.
The shoulders.
Yeah. So you run out to the courtyard and cry against plum tree. Is that where I'm at?
Isn't there some symbolism with plum trees?
I don't know.
It's something significant. Hold on. There's something. Never mind. I'm getting into weird symbolism with plants. Anyways.
Because I know cherry blossom trees is usually the go-to, but you know, it's a plum tree.
So there's something about plums. I don't know. Oh. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know.
You declare you would never sell your body and think he's no better than Tanazaki.
Damn.
And then you follow a black cat you saw earlier to the plum tree and then fall asleep. The next morning you wake up in a bedroom and you try to get up, but there's an arm draped across you. You check to see whose arm it is, and it's Misao, who wakes up and tells you to shut up.
Damn. Okay.
Be quiet. Because he's trying to sleep. And you're wondering, why are you in this man's bed and did he touch you? Chapter 2. You run out the room. I mean, yeah, after what happened the night before, of course. Very reasonable.
And just randomly waking up with him. Right there.
Especially when you were outside beforehand. So you run out the room and run into the mistress who was looking for you, and you find out that Misao told them to let you stay, and if he didn't let you stay, that you'd be homeless. And Misao wanted you to stay so you can get a job and a home, and he begged the mistress to let you stay there at the inn so you're not homeless.
Huh? Well, that's nice.
The mistress promises not to whore you out, because in her mind, you're Misao's now. You belong to him. And she apologizes and tell you that she really didn't have a choice against, like, powerful men in the country, and, like, she really doesn't have any say to say no.
That makes sense.
because she's a woman.
So if they turn her into a brothel, she has no she has no say.
Yeah. You don't forgive her or trust her, but you need a home and a job, which understandable. Because, I mean, she knows what she did is wrong. You know what she did is wrong. It was very shitty. It's a very shitty situation for everybody. So, but most of the maids are now giving you, like, the cold shoulder and the silent treatment. But you do talk to this girl named Hana, and she's friendly, but she won't get close to you. You learn that Misao's a painter who rents out a few rooms to paint, and he paints women, and most of the women who are there are half naked, quote unquote. And the rumors are that wait, no, this is not the rumors, but they got that sex face on.
Okay.
You realize he was painting when you met him. He wasn't sleeping around with some girl. That he was actually doing his job when you barged into that room, and you feel bad for assuming things now. The first time an MC actually feels bad for shit.
I'm honestly surprised, but she seems to have more of a conscience.
I mean, she felt bad in the other stories, but then she was just here like, I'm right, he's wrong. Makes me think of Ota's storyline where she's like, I want you to quit the auctions, I hate the auctions. That made us so mad.
We were livid. We were like, come on.
This is his lives, man. His livelihood.
Mm.
Not really, but still.
Mm.
So the maids don't talk to him, and you think Kyosu gave you to Misao so he could paint you, and that man was interested in painting you last night, which he was gonna try, but he wasn't interested. Yeah, so that whole situation where it was very, very, like, creepy from your perspective, yeah. He was just trying to do his job because, like, he said, I'm gonna try.
Oh,
Because
that's why he said you're too pure, because it means he legitimately can't paint you the way he paints other women. Oh, damn. Okay.
you realized that he carried you to his room last night before and that you needed to apologize to him.
Mm.
Misao comes up to you and asks you if you thought he was trying to sleep with you. You try to confirm nothing happened, and he tells you that you have to prove what it takes to work there,
Mm.
and that he did what he could to help you out, and that he's done his job now. And then he also tells you that you've never known love, so you don't have what he needs, and he's not interested in you. No inspiration at all. And then he leaves. He goes back to his room.
Okay, then.
You think Miso is trash for whispering that to you in public, and you find out from the maids that Tanazaki got banned, and he used to target all the new girls, and Kyosuke banned Tanazaki from ever coming to that inn again
Oh, that's good.
after what happened.
Go, Kyosu.
Yeah, we love our sugar daddy.
Woo!
So now no one likes you because Lord Kyosuke banned Tanazaki for you, and Miso, quote unquote, favors you. So you're just hated. It makes no sense, but yeah, whatever. Sure, hate on me because I'm favored by some rich dudes. As if I wanted to be favored by rich men.
It wasn't your.
They also think you're gonna get them all fired if you ever, like, get mad at them or anything. Yeah, that's the mindset we're dealing with here.
Jeez.
So then they decide that they're gonna isolate you and ice you out. Because that always goes well. Which, I mean, like, why would you do that if you think I'm going to fire you if you're being mean to me?
Exactly. Like, that's the epitome of being mean.
Like, if you think I'm going to get you fired because you're being mean to me, why would you ice me out? That's literally how you get fired for being mean. But whatever. So you decide you're gonna stay away from Misao and you're on your way to clean the baths after you, like, because you have to beg for work. The maids don't want to give you any work because they don't even want to be near you.
Mm-hmm.
So they they tell you to clean the baths. So you get to the baths and you see a sign that says cleaning in progress already. And you're like, oh my god, I can go bond with I can go bond with the girl who's already cleaning in there. You're
You're hopeful.
you're so helpful. When you get into the bath though, there's steam. There's a whole bunch of steam and you're trying to see through the steam and you see Miso's you scream, which annoys Miso, and he's like, why the heck are you screaming when you barged in on me?
He's got a point.
So then he turns around, walks over to you, reprims you, and you're for coming in the bathroom, and on him, and you're just like, oh my god, this man is naked right in front of me, just has it all out, and oh my god. So then he tells you that whenever I wake up, I go take a bath first thing in the morning. Remember that, or you won't have a job the next day.
Okay.
And several days later, you are still being ostracized by all the girlies, and a man named Mogai comes looking for the mistress. So chapter 3. Chapter 2 was very short. So you run around the inn looking for the mistress, and in the courtyard you see a room full of paintings, and you decide that you're gonna get a closer look. Which this was a dumb choice. And then you see boobs, half-lidded eyes, and bare shoulders.
Of course.
The scandal. Oh yeah. What did I write? You're not seeing full boobs, you're just seeing cleavage. Yeah, and then Miso's painting her.
Mm-hmm.
The woman's trying to get Miso to stop painting and, just straight up fuck her. And while you're trying to leave, you end up locking eyes with him. And Miso's talking about punishing you. Asagiri, the girl, Bigfoot.
Bigfoot?
Yep, that's what I call her.
Okay.
She thinks he's talking about her, and she's like, yes, please punish me. And I'm just here like, okay.
Oh, you sent me that screenshot.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what that screenshot was about.
gee.
Yeah, so bro is, touching her, and she's just crying out in pleasure, and this is just in the middle of the day, and you run out of there because you're like, oh my god, what the heck did I just see? Honestly, you came into his space.
Yeah, you're the one who got nosy.
So your virgin eyes can't forget what you saw, and you're wondering, what the hell does Miso do? What is his job? And if he actually paints, because you're over here like, I don't believe this man actually paints anymore.
Mm.
Which understandable.
Yeah.
After seeing that, I'd be like, do you paint? Do you really paint?
Or do you just say that to get girls in the room?
Do you really paint? Or is that your actual job? So Mr. Mogi comes up to you with the mistress, and then he apologizes to you because he found the mistress like right after you ran off. And then he thanks you for like searching high and high water.
Through hell and high water.
Oh yeah, through hell and high water. Through hell and high water for the mistress for him. And the mistress confused while you're all out of breath and you're looking like you just saw a ghost or something. And then she's like, were you in the courtyard? Were you in Misao's courtyard? The one that he's paying for? You try to. But then she reprims you, and Mr. Mogi thinks Misao's like paintings are vulgar.
Mm-hmm.
But he won't say it. He won't say it out loud. And he has you see him to the door. And you're like, this man is a true gentleman. This man is it.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's never a good idea for you to think.
Yeah, never, because you're immediately proven wrong.
Yeah. So then later that night, Hannah asked you if you went to the garden and into Misao's area. And then, you're like, no, I did not. What do you mean did I go into his area? And of course, everybody figures out she figures out you did. So she finally explains the goddamn rules of this place to you.
Finally?
Yes. You finally get explained the rules about how the mates are not allowed in any of Misa's rented rooms or his spaces. So, which is his room, his studio, and the courtyard. The maids are not allowed any of those places at all. And you've been to all of them.
Mm-hmm.
You desperately want to be friends with the maids, and you also think about how you already broke all of the rules. And you also saw Miso filling up his model, and how gross they were just doing it with the doors open in the courtyard. Which, no matter how gross it was, which it is gross, you weren't even supposed to be there. What he does at his private time is his, no matter how gross it is. And how... Actually, we never get clarification if he actually did feel her up. I just get clarification that he doesn't actually sleep with the girls.
Okay.
But yeah, so, several days later, you wake up in this... I mean, not you wake up, but several days later, you're working in the storage room, and nothing ever good happens in the storage room.
Never.
And Tanazaki comes in and he traps you.
The guy banned?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah, he snuck in. So he locks it. He tries to lock the door, and then he insults you and complains about being banned from this place. Which I'm just here like, dude, is it that serious?
It's an inn. Like,
Is it that serious for you to like go after girls in an inn? Whatever. But yeah, he complains about being banned. You throw a broom at him and try to run. He grabs your shoulders and throws you on the ground and tells you that you should have just shut up and lain there. You scream for help, punch him in the gut, but he did rip your kimono open, and then a black cat comes in, which distracts you and allows Tanizaki to pin you down. You scratch his face, evil words, and finally Misao comes in. Yeah, Misao comes in and he's holding the cat.
it's his damn cat.
Yeah, it turns out the cat Murasaki is his this whole time.
Of course.
Yeah, and you kind of ruin his heroic banter by telling him to get this man off of you. And he was like, I was making my speech. I was doing my thing.
He was like, I was being the hero. Why can't you let me have this one thing?
And you're like, get this man off of me. And he's like, ugh, gosh, okay, I'm doing it. So then he pulls Tanizaki off of you, and then he hurts a man's shoulder. He tells him to shut up or he's going to, or people will come. Shut up and stop screaming. Or people will come and he knows that he doesn't want that because he tried to cover your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
He ties Tanazaki's hands with your belt and explains that he's like, hey, so do you want to explain to the maids why you're here? Or should I? And then Misao fixes you up and he kind of just comforts you. Tanazaki should just stick to masturbating. And then he offers to paint a picture of you to give to Tanazaki so he could, for a price.
Misao, you were doing so good.
He's like, do you want me to paint a picture? You want me to paint a picture of a lady for you so you can get off to that?
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta pay me.
Mm-hmm.
So, chapter 4. After taking Tanizaki to the mistress, Misao takes you to the courtyard and he tells you that he only found you because of Murasaki. Yep. And even though he's annoyed with you, he's still kind of rubbing your back and comforting you, making sure you're okay. And he has been doing that the whole time since everything happened. He admits that he tried to wash his hands of you, like the first night, and that he didn't want anything to do with you. But fate has other plans and that you're surprised. And then you reflect on your attitude towards Miso up till now because you've been kind of a bitch to him.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I probably shouldn't have been such a bitch to you because you're not that bad. You're not terrible.
Yeah.
You just say the weirdest things and the most disgusting things to women.
Mm.
But you're a man, so what do I expect?
A rich.
Yeah. So you realize you've been straight up awful, excluding you, peeping on his painting session, because that's the only thing I don't think you were very awful on, because that was gross. Dude, that was disgusting. So you apologize for everything so far, and you still think he was trying to paint you. And he tells you you don't owe him, because everything he's done so far has either been a coincidence or just happenstance. That he hasn't been trying to go out of his way to help you at all.
Mm.
And that he's basically just been trying to get rid of you this whole time.
Sounds about right.
And since you keep begging to pay him back, he asks you to do a favor for him. And you're like, I'll do anything.
What is with you in that?
You immediately realize that you shouldn't have said that, and that's what got you into this situation in the first place. Miso laughs at that, and then he sends you off to a restaurant called Omni Rice Cafe,
Mm-hmm.
and you meet us at Shuro. He's the owner. He's not one of the four mains, but he is a love interest. Yes, our older man is here.
Woo. We love an older man.
I mean, sometimes.
It depends on the age and how old you
mean,
are. There's limits.
I'm pretty sure you're like 8.
I take it back.
Because you're still close in age with Takehista's sister, which she's still in school. So you have to be around like 18, 20. I give him a pass because he's like 30 something.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the Meiji period. You get a pass. But you're still on thin ice. Plus, he's not creepy. He doesn't treat you like a child. unlike some other people we know.
Don't bring me back to that awful place.
So, Tsukumo's also there, and he's eating his food, because this is a restaurant. This is the lounge for them, okay?
Okay.
This restaurant is their lounge.
Okay. Sounds good.
So, turns out Miso planned to send you to get his stuff because Atashiro at no, yeah, at Siro. Siro? Shibusawa. His last name is the one I can actually say.
Mm-hmm.
Shibusawa wouldn't have sold it to him otherwise.
Damn.
Yeah. That man said if Miso came himself, I would have not given him this stuff. So, Shibusawa and Tsukumo start talking about how Miso's like a crackhead or an addict. You know, that whole screenshot I sent you?
Yeah, where they were just going on and on about how much he was an addict and all this stuff.
Yeah, and it's the funniest thing because I'm just here like, why y'all making this man sound like he's a crackhead?
They were drilling it in.
So as you're leaving, Mr. Mogi sees you and he's like, hey! He pulls up the carriage and he's like, you need a ride home? You try not to. You try not to get a ride home because you're like, no, I'm too poor. You're a rich man. I can't take a ride home from you. Me and my stupid self would have took that ride.
I wouldn't have trusted it.
I would have took it because I do not want to carry this jug of drugs that I believe is drugs. I don't want to be walking around with this. But you learn that he runs a clothing shop and you think Mr. Mogi's your perfect man. Every time we have a perfect man, we always hate that man.
Yeah.
Especially in Isaac's storyline, where our perfect man was our supervisor and he just gave off the vibes of nice. He was nice, but I mean, at the same time, he was just like.
He was actively trying to be a homewrecker.
So you tell Mr. Mogi that you're the rumored girl that Kelsey bought, and that you did dispel the rumors of, like, that you slept with any of them. Because there's also a rumor going around that you're Misao's mistress. And then Mr. Mogi just starts shit-talking Misao about how he draws half-naked women and how having relationships with those models is gross. Mm-hmm. And he's worried about you because you're a sweet, innocent girl. You're happy because, yay, this man wants to save me. But at the same time, you're like, okay, first of all, Misao isn't. You want to defend Misao. You want to defend his honor. But at the same time, I don't know. You're also like, I don't know this fucking man. I don't know what he's like. Yeah. So maybe you are right.
Yeah.
This is the only time you have common sense where you don't like immediately try to defend these people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, good on you for not immediately wanting to defend him. I understand wanting to defend him and then being like, nah, I don't know this man.
Yeah. Because, like, you want to defend him because it's like, he did help me. But then it's like, but I've seen what he does, and I don't really know him. I just know what he's done and admitted to.
I just know what he's done for me.
Yeah.
It's very much one of those situations where, like how we have a lot of situations now where everybody's like, oh my god, this actor has done this, and then their friends are immediately like, no, he would never because he didn't do it to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when you get back to the inn, Misa's actually surprised they actually gave you the jug. And you ask him what's in it, and he just implies that it's drugs. You know, flying high as a kite.
Gosh, higher than the clouds.
So Misa puts you in charge of his cat, Murasaki, which you're over here you're just trying to find things to complain. You're like, why is he named Murasaki? Murasaki means purple.
Oh, people name their cat asshole.
I'm just here like, why did you name a black cat Murasaki when, like, Kuro, yeah. Kuro is right there. Kuro means black, so.
I don't know.
But I guess because Misao wears purple.
Probably then. It's probably.
Today you have to wash him. So Misa's there watching you wash his cat, and then he's trying to turn it into a dirty joke.
Of course.
Yeah, because you're trying to get the cat, and he's like, this kind of sounds dirty, as he does.
Of course.
So you're just mad that he ain't doing shit. He's not helping you at all. He's like, damn, this is your cat, man. Help me clean your cat. And he's like, Why would I do that? Why would I do that? You're the one who slapped me, remember? When I was just trying to paint you? Yeah. And then he also guilt trips you with barging in on his work too. You hate working for him personally because, I mean, like, you feel like it's already worsening your relationship with like all the other maids because they already hate you. So, then later on that day, you see Misa with a gaggle of girls surrounding him, and since he's doing card readings, tarot card readings, because that's something he also has down.
Man has too much free time.
Yeah. So he has you come in, he goes you into the room and decides that he's going to read your fortune. And he tells you that you're going to fall for a lazy man that takes afternoon naps, and you tell him, no, that is not happening. My type is someone who's faithful and kind and loyal, and someone I can be happy with for the rest of my life, and forever and always. And then he's like, okay, sure, princess, sure.
He was like, the cards don't lie, sweetie.
So then he also gets you to admit that you've never been in love, which causes the maids to laugh and pity you because of your unrealistic fairy tale husband. And then the maids realize that you're kind of naive and you're just a naive farm girl that needs all the help you can get in a reality check. And they're like, men ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you learn about women empowerment. Yeah.
Woo!
We need to be strong women.
Strong property. We can do it.
We need to be strong while being disenfranchised.
Mm-hmm.
So Misao's like silently agreeing with all this bullshit, and then he's like, guess my job here is done. You start thinking that he did that to get to have the girls help you. To help you get along with the girls, but then you're like, nah, he would never do that. He just wants me to leave him alone.
Mm-hmm.
So then the mistress comes in and reprims you all, while also coming in to get you because you have a customer.
Customer? What?
It's Mr. No Guy.
It's what? Oh.
Yeah. And he wants to give you a handkerchief as a gift. A silk handkerchief. And then he also notices your kimono's dirty, and then he laments that you have to work here and that you have to be dirty. And that's when he sees Miso. And then he's like, locked on. Miso introduces himself to him. He introduces himself to them, and he's like, okay, bye, and leaves. Miso asks you, hey, is Mr. Mogi your ideal type? And then he's like, even if he is, I don't like that man. Something's off about him. Something's wrong with him. That ain't it.
He's not for you, sweetie. Sit down.
Men who are too perfect.
Mm-hmm. You're waiting on that afternoon nap guy, okay?
So the next favor he asks you is for you to bring him his elixir at night, and you finally get to get a good look at his paintings, and you realize he's not drawing straight up porn. 5 chapters into, you finally realize he's not drawing porn.
Pretty sure he would have been arrested if he did, but
nobody would be buying his paintings if he was, but okay.
Exactly.
Misao's currently painting Bigfoot.
Yep.
Asagiri. The same girl from last time. And now episode 6. So as they finish up, Asagiri Bigfoot is salty, and she's salty that you're there, and even madder to find out that you're a maid, and stops acknowledging you right then and there.
Damn.
She leaves. Misao sighs in relief because he's like, thank God she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And he asks you to dilute his elixir with water. You're still scared it's drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody has explained to you that it's not drugs yet.
Mm-hmm.
And you did a shit job at making his drink, so he makes you remake it. So he remakes it himself, and then he's like, you drink it. And you have a dramatic breakdown, like you're about to die, and Miso tells you to stop that shit. Because you take a sip, and you're like, I'm dying, I can't breathe.
And he's over here like, you're just having a panic attack. Calm the fuck down. Shut the fuck up.
And he's like, it's just cow piss.
What's that?
Which cow piss is like basically fermented dry milk and lactic acid. Yeah, so basically it's just milk. Because I don't know if you've seen the cow, I think, well, basically it's like, It's like a milky. It's milky.
Okay.
It's kind of it's milk. It's basically milk, but it's like kind of milky, and I don't know how to explain it without. It's kind of it has a tangy sweet taste to it. I like it. I had it in like this fruit punch over in Japan, but I don't like it by itself. Basically, it's just fermented milk.
Okay.
Yeah. So you were just having that whole breakdown over some ferment. That's why man was like, calm down, calm down. It
Mm-hmm.
ain't that serious.
Mm-hmm.
Stop acting like you're about to die.
Mm.
So Miso tells you that Shibusawa and Tsukumo were just teasing you. They purposely made you think that it was drugs because they just wanted to tease
That's cute.
you. And they're trolls.
Yeah. We love a good troll.
After that, he has you come almost every night, and he finishes around midnight every. And you can't even make his drinks right, so you keep wondering why he keeps telling you to come back. But you have to keep coming back every night. Bigfoot's mad that you keep coming back, but she won't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's glaring daggers at you, glaring daggers at Misao. She's like, why is she still here? You realize the rumors about him sleeping with his models aren't true, and that he's actually serious about his, which I don't know why it took you this long to figure that out, but whatever. You ask him, why is he so emotionally, why does he paint if he's so unemotionally attached to this world? And he just kind of like doesn't like living here and just kind of like floats around. He tells you everything he paints is stripped naked and that he can bring out all everybody's baggage in the way he paints, and that he wants to show all the hidden emotions as colors. And you didn't understand that, but you're happy that you got a real answer from him. Which this kind of explains why he's like, I don't want to paint you. You're unexpiring because all your emotions show on your face. You don't have any hidden emotions. You have no baggage. You're a happy farm girl. So, oh yeah, basically he does tell you that. He tells you your feelings aren't messy. They're simple and they're easy to understand and uncomplicated. Tame, as you would say. You ask Misao if he has baggage, and he's like, no, I got rid of all my baggage years ago. All my baggage is gone.
That makes it sound like he murdered someone.
You admit to liking his paintings and the way he looks while painting, and it surprises him. And he starts laughing because he's like, you only like me while I'm painting? No other time. So, chapter 7. One night, instead of Asagiri leaving, she decides that she's gonna stay and get her answer from Misao. So she clings to him, and, she gets upset because he's pushing her off, and he's just like, yeah, so it's time for you to go now.
Mhm.
And, she's like upset, but like not in that angry kind of way. She's just kind of being like, no, being the flirty, seductive kind of way. But you can tell she's pissed.
Mm-hmm.
So Asagiri wants to be his one and only model and his special girl. And she claims that she knows what Miso wants and feels for her. So you awkwardly have to watch her be like all over him while you're just in the room, and he's like check
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him.
he's checking out of this whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
He's mentally vacant, and she's trying to stake her claim and also remind you that you are furniture to her, while at the same time you can't stop looking because they're right there, right in front of you.
Yeah.
Like you want to look away, but at the same time, it's just like right there, happening, right there. She pushes Miso on his back, and he's just vacant and there, letting this all happen,
Mm-hmm.
letting her do whatever she wants. And you happen to see her stepping on his painting, which is why I call her Bigfoot.
Okay. Makes sense.
So, you call out to her because you're like, "Hey, sorry to interrupt whatever's going on here." She hates that you interrupted them, and you say, "Oh, his drink is getting cold. He needs to drink his drink now," which was stupid because his drink doesn't get cold. But
Yeah, no, I was really confused. You could have said it's getting warm.
yeah, so you don't, cause you say that because you don't directly want to like offend her and like have her get mad. But, Miso starts cackling because you said that. He's just over here laughing. And he does play along with it though. He's like, yeah, you gotta go. I gotta drink my drink before it gets cold. So Asagiri leaves pissed off because, she's like, fuck you, fuck this painting shit, I'm done, goodbye.
Yeah.
And Misa finally tells you that he has you come every night, so he's not alone. He just did not want to be alone with that woman at all. And that was the last thing he wants. He only likes her because she's easy to work with, and he doesn't like people who actually want a relationship with him and wants bonds with him because it's too much trouble. Misao hates being involved with people on a personal level, and he doesn't want to be tied down to anything. And you're hurt that he's using you, but at the same time, I mean, like,
Is
what
that
you gonna do? I mean, he's using you, but he's not like, you're still getting to know him. You're still like hanging out with him. Honestly, he was using you in the best way.
Mhm.
He just, and the thing is, he just had you there, so she didn't try to get all up on him.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to be with her, and she wouldn't take no for an answer because she thinks she's hot. So he comes up close to you and then stares into your eyes, and then he asks you why. Why did you interrupt Bigfoot earlier? And then he clocks that you were trying to save his painting. And then he asks if you really love his artwork and if that's the only thing that you're trying to protect. So he's clocking what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
And then he offers to paint you. He's like, "Do you want to be my model? Since my other model's gone now, I don't have a model. You want to be one?" This throws you off your game because you're like, he wants me to be his model after like spending several weeks telling me I'm too much of a Virgin Mary.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. He also tells you that you're no longer the girl he met the first day you came in, and it's your choice if you want to come. If you want to be his model, it's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
You can always say no. It's not like he's going to force. You decide that you're going to model for him. Like a few days later, you think about it. You're like, okay, I'll do it because it's my fault. Bigfoot.
Okay. That's fair logic.
He does your hair and makeup that night, and then you get a self-esteem boost because you're like, oh my god, I look so pretty with makeup on. Oh my god. He loosens your kimono, but it's not like he's not having you all out. He's not having you all out like his other girl. And then he starts getting ready to work. Chapter 8.
Okay, before chapter 8, I just have to say I'm realizing that he is like an exact mirror of what's his face.
Ota?
No. The one.
Oh, yeah.
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 Tao?
Yeah.
Yeah. I told you he was based off of
Yeah. Yeah. It's so evident now because I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, Hazel, hop on.
Yeah, because I think what happened was I was just scrolling through it because I was planning to read it that week when
Mm-hmm.
I decided to actually like get their personalities together, and then I looked at it and then I was, oh, okay, I'll do a little bit based off of him, and then like
A little bit.
all of it just became all of it.
Yeah.
He literally just became that man, except he's not lazy.
Yeah. He's the one responsible brother.
He's one of the responsible brothers.
Yes. Yes. There's too many brothers.
There's like 5 of them.
Yeah. All right. So chapter 8.
Yeah. So you are thirsty under this man's gaze.
Of course.
Like when he's painting you, you're like you're over here like, man, it feels like he just fucked. like you're sweating. You're sweating over here. You're like, oh my god, it's hot up in here. Woo! Oh god.
Okay.
I'm over here like, this is such a weird thing to read.
Yeah, it's something else, that's for sure.
Like, it's getting hot in here, so hot.
It's exactly that song.
And I'm like, dang, what is he doing? Because all he's doing, he ain't even touching you. Like, damn.
He's just painting.
I guess his painting is different.
It's gotta be.
He got that magic touch kind. Neither can I. Neither can
Oh.
I. And we still have a sequel of this. 2 sequels to go. So yeah. So you're sweating, and Miso, he's like, okay, you want some cow piss? I
Cow piss, and I was like,
yeah, I'm just like, what is the English name? But it's cow. I think it's Calco. I'm pretty sure Calco is the English name.
yeah, Alco, because I'm hearing cow piss.
Yeah. And he's like, here, have something to drink, and you finally calm down after you get some of it. So every night you're his model, and during the day you're his maid.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to clean his studio every day.
Damn.
So Kiyosu comes to visit, and he's like surprised to see you. He's like, "What are you doing here? What are you doing in his studio?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't think I'd see you ever again." Hey.
He's like, I forgot about you. I forgot I spent a fortune on you. Where the fuck is Misao?
Like, he's so confused. He's like, "What the heck are you doing in his office?" I mean, not his office, but his studio.
He's over here like, y'all fucking? Nah, y'all not fucking. Y'all not fucking.
You
What?
explain that Miso has you cleaning, and that it shocks him because he's like, "Oh, what do you mean you're cleaning?" I mean, Miso hates other people in his personal space. I'm lucky I get to be in here. Not really, but you know.
Yeah.
Kyosu's getting nosy because he's like, "Oh, so you know he bathes first thing in the morning? What's going on with that? Why do you know that? How do
Mm-hmm.
you know his schedule? And why it's so normalized to you? You know, just being him."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I also consider Kyosuke, he's also like Isaac in a way that he's like the godfather.
The god
The
that makes.
godfather to the he's always acting like every like Kyosuke in everybody's storyline, he's always acting like he's like the father that needs to approve of these men, approve of his own friends.
Mm-hmm. He's over here like, why are you so close to Miso? He's not good for you, honey.
But still, he's gonna still hand out money to his besties.
Of course. Of course.
And then he's, "Oh, me? What am I doing here? I'm just here to buy some of his work. Of course. I gotta put money into my friends, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta invest in them. Gotta invest in their livelihood." So y'all talk for a minute, which, you know, that gets the clock turning in his head.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is where I ask.
Okay.
Then Sugar Daddy Kiyosik sees the half finished painting of you, and he's like, and then he's also like, "Oh, so that's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going on here." And then he drops the subject. He's like, "Okay, okay, that's y'all's business, not mine."
He was like, I've seen enough. You don't need to tell me twice.
You don't need to tell me. And then Kiesic tells you that he's like aware of that Misao's aware of his own reputation. Misao's actually from a well-off family, and he doesn't show that side of him because he cut ties with his whole family, and that's the whole reason why he doesn't.
So that's the whole I got rid of all that baggage.
He wants nothing permanent and stays at the inn because the inn is, and no one bothers. Kiyosuke also tells you that that Miso won't welcome you, nor will he chase after you if you leave. But he believes that you can see his heart. You can see Misao's heart. That you know the real him.
He's over here trying to play matchmaker.
Yeah, he's that godfather.
Yeah.
And then Kiyosuke's like, "Oh, so do you like him? Do you like him?" Are
He's over here like Baba with the true love, like romantic. He's like, tell me more.
like, let me know. And then he's like, even if you do like him, it's nearly impossible to get him to settle down. So you
Dang.
you're confused because you're like, what are you talking about, man?
You're like, I'm just doing my job.
And then Kiyosuke shoots his shot. He's like, "If it doesn't work out, I'm here. I'm right. I can find some work.
Man.
You can come.
Mm-hmm.
And you bitch, didn't you just like pawn me off to the other dudes?
I thought you did it.
Because you didn't you pawn me off to everybody else because you said you didn't have stuff for me?" And you want to know what his response? That was then. This is now.
Big. Okay.
Like,
Oh,
okay.
if you say.
So several days later, it goes on. You're in town running errands again. You see Mr. Mo, and you ain't into him anymore. And he kind of picks up on that.
Oh.
He's kind of like, you don't seem the same as you used to a few days. And then he's like, "I guess girls change when they're in love." And you start wondering, am I in love? Am I in love with me? Is this the change that Misao mentioned when he said I blossomed into a...
That's like the most traumatizing phrase ever. You've blossomed into a woman. That's like Miso. Miso.
It wasn't that traumatizing back then.
Clearly.
I mean, we understand what he means by saying that.
But nowadays, that is not something you want to say.
Because Misa had no interest in you because you were a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not a little girl, but. So, the next night you go to Misa's room and you're ready to go immediately because you're like, you don't want to look at Misa at all. After hearing like what Mr. Mogi said, you don't want to let him know how you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Miso picks up on this and he's kind of like, oh, okay. And he kind of ignores what's going on at your request because you're like, let's not talk about it. And he kind of makes small talk with you because he's like, okay, I'ma just avoid this. You're in denial that you love Misa because of the consequences that. And Misa points out that you have a lot on your mind and you aren't as transparent as you used to be. And you're concluding that feel has how, which I mean, he's very observant, so of course he would know.
He's known since the night you saved him from.
Yeah, and you're also like he's probably has always been able to at every point of this relationship. At the end of your session, you look at the painting and come to terms with the fact that he knows.
Mm-hmm.
Several days later, you and Misa get a guest, and it's Misa isn't surprised, but you are. You're surprised. You're like, why is this man? And why is he calling for me? And Mr. Mogi tells basically the proprietress and you that he's like, I want to get. The end is no place for a girl like, and you need to quit and come with him for your own.
You just acknowledged she's in love with someone else.
It's for your own.
Okay.
Basically, he says you're not a prostitute and the mistress is trash for pimping out for, and you're like, what?
But that's not what's happening right now. We're past that.
And then he tries to bribe you with the cruelty-free work. And he said he wanted to ask you earlier, but his shop is so new, so he couldn't ask you. I mean, you should have asked me earlier before I fell in love with someone.
When I
You're
was
hesitant.
skills for you.
Yeah. You're hesitant to leave because of Misao, and Misao, why?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why am I here? You can ask the girl directly. Why? What do I have to do? And Mr. Mogri's like, well, rumor has it that she's yours, and she's like your personal maid, so I need to go through you. Mr. Mogi hates Miso with everything in him. And you try to tell him that you need permission to leave, and he's like, well, I got you. I got you. I got you. I'll get the mistress to let you leave if Miso frees you. And then he gives a dirty look because he just hates that man so
Leave
much.
our man alone.
You want Miso to say no and tell you to stay, and you're hoping for any excuse, but he just tells you that it's your choice. And I understand why he's like, it's your choice. You get to pick. But at the same time, I also understand her side.
Yeah, because she is a woman. In that time period, saying no could get her killed. Saying no nowadays can get you killed, but even more.
Yeah. I mean, but he does give her autonomy to say no if she ever wants to.
Yeah, which is good.
Which the thing is, he doesn't want her to have. She doesn't want to have autonomy for
No.
some reason.
Yeah, makes no sense, but it's fine.
Yeah. So, Mr. Mogi says that. Oh yeah, because he calls you. Because as I said, Miso does call you little,
Mm-hmm.
and he leaves. So Mr. Mogi starts getting upset because he's using a pet, and he calls you little princess, and he's like, that is such an insult because you guys are he's being far too familiar. He's not being formal with you.
Okay.
And then Mr. Mogi iterates that you're not that type of girl and that you don't belong here with him. And then he leaves and lets you think things over. But you're kind of numb and heartbroken, so you don't really, because you want Miso to fight for you to stay. But he's not fighting for you to stay.
And he's not going to. I mean, man clearly has commitment issues.
So then that night, as he's painting you, you speak up. You're still upset that Miso gave you the choice to leave and didn't protest you leaving. So you're starting to think that you're getting greedy because you just want Misao to be all yours, and you just want more from him than he wants. Ask him how does he see you, and he tells you he sees a maid who's lost, and you're just a model too, and that's it. That's
Hmm.
and to me, he says that he's just babysitting you for Kyosuke, and that you're not his like Mr. Mo. You tell him that he's never gonna let a woman into his heart, and that he's got, and then he gets cold with you, and kind of just like tells you he's not gonna be cruel to you, but he's gonna tell you the truth. He's not gonna lie to you and tell.
Mhm.
So now you know how Bigfoot feels, because you just want Misao to love you and only you, and
Mhm.
which at the same time he never promised you a relationship.
No, he just offered you a job as a model.
Yeah, he never offered you anything of like at most in this model. Yeah, he never. So it's not his fault for saying,
Yeah,
I don't see you as more, which we obviously know he does see you as more. We're on chapter 9.
of course.
So when the painting's finished, Misao lays down and turns away from you, but you keep talking to this man even though he's like non-responsive. So you tell him that you hate that, and oh, you really do hate love because love hurts.
Mhm.
And then you tell Misao goodbye. Goodbye. You get rejected one time.
That's just sad. But
I wish if I could afford to leave every time I got rejected, I would have. So you go and work for Mr. Mogi instead, because you're like can't live here.
Mhm.
Before you left, Misa was avoiding you, and you knew it because you felt like the shift that night, like you confessed it, and you decided you can't stay here knowing that he doesn't love you. And the maids are happy for you, but they're like, we wish we had more fake bitches.
it's their own fault.
Hannah wishes you had more, and that she did better. And then she's like, are you sure you really want to leave like this without talking to Misao or telling him that you're leaving? Like, for real leaving, and not just like leaving for the night? And I want to dip. I want to go. I don't, because you're certain that he did.
Mhm.
But I mean, like, she tries to convince you, doesn't work out, you're stubborn. So while working at Mr. Mogi's shop, you try to find something to do, but there's nothing for you to do because the shop is so new, so clean, and you don't,
Hmm.
and you're wondering, why is this place so empty? Why don't we have? So you figure out that Mr. Mogi's shop is so empty because he only has high quality products, and he's very picky with the client,
Mhm.
which not surprising considering he went on this whole crusade about how, but he doesn't have the money to like maintain the shop or maintain this kind of like attitude, which is going to put you out of a job and out of a home soon.
Mhm.
So one night you're in your room looking at the painting, and Mr. Mogi comes in because, he wants, and he sees, oh wait, no. Not yet. He doesn't see the painting yet. But I mean, like, he kind of grabs your hand, to comfort you, and then you jerk your hand away because weird,
Yeah.
fucking weird behavior. And the painting falls out of your bag. So Mogi sees it, and you try to hide it, but bro's like, oh my god, Misa. And then he brings up that the man basically, which, not gonna lie,
Hmm.
he got me by being like, he owned you. I mean, yes, he did. He did basically own me. And then he assumes that you were his mistress.
Of course he does.
And you're like, no, I'm not a mistress. I've never, no. So then Mr. Mogi goes on about how you're so innocent and that Miso needs to stop his stop having you in his, and with his intimate and revealing portraits, and he compares the portrait he's giving West. You have to yell at him to get him to understand that Miso's not a creep who only wants sex. Mr. Mogi looks at you in disgust and then leaves.
Yay.
The next day, Mr. Mogi's in your room when you like come back after work. He's in your room holding the portrait. You can oh shoot, you weren't supposed to be back yet. And then he goes on about how innocent girls have vulgar things like this. You try to take it back, and you tell him that you
Mhm.
yeah, he asks if you love Misao, and he takes your silence as a yes, and then he takes a painting, claiming that you're not you. You're not you.
Okay, Mr. Snickers bar.
Like, dang, am I a Snickers bar now?
Apparently.
With the so he's gonna burn the painting to ashes. So yeah, as y'all are arguing, Misao interrupts you guys, looking for Mr. Mogi. It asks if Mr. Mogi he's like, are you interested in the portrait? Do you want a portrait, or are you? Yep. So, of course, Mr. Mogi has to drop the painting, and you try to smooth it out, while Misao watches you like desperately try to smooth out and like, which I'm just here like maybe Mr. Mogi was right.
Yeah.
So Mr. out, and he's forced to help Misao look for like clothing because Misao's the only.
I love that.
So he has no. Misao notes that he has good quality clothes and a good selection, but his
Mhm.
he tells Mr. Mogi that he knows a better manufacturer that he can go to, and it'll help cut cost for like his.
Mhm.
And you're like, how do you know this? How are you so how are you know how do you know the industry of like clothing stores?
Mhm.
Of course, Misa's like, it's a mystery
Of course.
because he's allergic.
Mhm. Mhm.
So Misa offers customers, and Moki's pissed because he's like, I don't need your help. I don't want the help. A poor. And then Kyosu comes in, look at it,
As always.
and he's like, look at this store. This store looks nice. This is a nice, got some nice quality here. You know, he has to be the sugar daddy.
Mhm.
Kyosu offers to invest in the store. I have a condition if you want. Miso has to do your Miso has to paint your advertising in order for me to,
Ooh.
and then Kyosuke politely tells the man to stop being a hater.
Period.
Because he's like, I get more money from your investment, from investing in you, and you get to not close up shop.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, Miso says he wants to be paid for his work, but he'll tell you what he wants to be paid in later. Because he ain't doing.
Of course. Naturally.
So then, he tells everyone that and that nobody has a choice in it. If they want to complain, take it up with you. And you.
All right then.
So he drags you off to back to the room, and when you guys are alone, you start crying because you're like, "Oh my god, I missed you so much. I thought leaving you would only make my feelings go away, but no, my feelings." And you're also crying because you're like, "Why am I the only one who's hurting here? Why am I the only one who feels heartbroken?" Because Miso's doing the same thing he always does. He doesn't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So uh oh yeah, you also wonder why you're not over him. I mean, girl, a few weeks.
Yeah, you haven't been away very long.
So this time, Misao paints you with no makeup, in a plain kimono, and no cleavage.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, okay.
So he comes every day. He comes all the way from the inn every day to come paint you,
Mm.
without all the extra stuff and just you as you are. So you're still in denial about how Misao looks at you when he paints you, because you're like, this man just he just keeps giving me bedroom eyes. I don't know if he's giving me bedroom eyes because he likes me, or if he's just giving me bedroom eyes because he.
Yeah.
You're so confused, and I'm just like, me too.
Is it just the painter eyes, or is it actually bedroom eyes?
You confess that you wanted to forget him that night, and that he was right, and that you shouldn't care too deeply about one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You try to tell him that you love him, but he cuts you off and polite because he can't focus.
Damn.
This solidifies your feeling of the rejection because you're like, oh my god, totally reasonable here.
Yeah.
This isn't like Kiss by the Baddest Bitter when he's doing everything he possibly can to show you that he loves you. You don't love me.
Yeah, no, this guy is legit rejecting you.
Like,
Twice.
so then you also remind yourself of Kiyosu's words about him like not chasing you, and like it takes forever. It's a Herculean task to like get him.
Mm-hmm.
And after Mogi finishes the painting, the shop is. I mean, not Mogi, but after Misao finishes the painting,
Dang.
everyone just came to get the kimono that you were wearing in the painting,
Mm-hmm.
and you're declared a Higuchi beauty. Yeah, you're on
Woo!
the level as all his.
Yay!
Customers talk about how conservative the painting is, but
Oh yeah, that's his own feelings coming out in the paint. That's his own feeling.
and then the newspapers try to find out who you are, and there's also a.
Mm-hmm.
But Misao made everybody keep your
He says she's mine. Back the fuck up.
Tsukumo came to visit. He came to visit like while the place is packed. And then there's also Takahista, and Kyosuke. They're all there,
Mm-hmm.
but they all stick out like sore thumbs because they're all tall and rich. They're tall. Well, I guess they are tall. I mean,
Yeah, I guess that's considered tall.
yeah, they all stick out like sore thumbs because they're all tall and rich.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dang. Well, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So Tsukumo said he had to see this goddess of beauty, and Kyosuke agrees. I'm just sitting here laughing.
Yeah.
Talking about you need to come see this goddess of beauty while laughing in my face.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dang, y'all are hilarious. Y'all are hilarious in a way that you're not mean.
Way better.
When you compare them to Kiss by the,
Yeah. Way
they're
better.
just they're mean, but they're just mean. They don't mean they're not mean to tease you.
Yeah.
They
These
want you to feel bad.
these ones are mean but funny. It's legit just teasing.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
but they do kind of give you a backhanded compliment here because you in the painting. You sure?
Of course. Of course.
It looks so good. You look.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I mean, like, you're just over here, like, oh my god, you got. This is so weird. But they do point out that there's like a change in you in the picture. And Kiyosu.
Hmm.
And then Takehista's like, what do you mean you letting Miso have you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I.
It's the best.
It's so much better than having to listen to Isaac win all the time.
Mm-hmm. This is so much better than Kiss by the Baddest Bitter.
Yeah. They Takehista's also after he's like, what do you mean? Why do you keep changing your mind? First you wanted to give her away, now you regret it, now you want to take her back. Gosh, y'all are just so weird. You know what? Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not about to get into this. So Tsukumo asks you if you're aware that you love Miso. It's like it's obvious as day to the rest of them. And they're
Yeah.
like, are you aware of your feelings?
If you are in love with Miso, you may be entitled to some company.
Before you even answer the question, Misao comes into the room. And Kyosuke's like,
Okay, Sugar Daddy, not Sugar Daddy Miso, Sugar Daddy Yotsu. We really have. It's the best.
I mean, like, he's like, I know why he's here at 10 a.m. He doesn't,
Hmm. I can imagine he has a rich.
yeah. You admit that you want to be with Misao, and they're like, oh my god, go to him.
You go, girl. You've got it.
Basically, they encourage you, and Misao starts heading towards you, but then he takes a sharp turn over to Mr. Mogai, and Misao's like, I'm ready to pick up my payment. Mr. Mogi thinks that he's going to take the shop from him, and he's like, please. Misao's like, I don't want your store. I don't
He's like, I'm fucking rich. What are you talking about?
like why.
Hmm.
So the episodes are like into Fortune's Fool and The Favored Bold.
Okay.
Like, depending on who you have at the time, depends on like whether Fortune's Fools are favored. So Fortune's Fool is a good ending for Misao because that's some ending where you get the see the photo.
Hmm.
And this is also my favorite ending too because it's a lot better than the Favored Bold one.
Hmm.
I actually had to,
Oh wow. Wow.
yeah, I had to purchase it, and,
Dang.
and I'm just sitting here like 4 or 5 years go by. Usually have changed. Usually answer, but nope.
Of course. But that's fine.
So for Fortune's Fool, Misao turns to you, and it feels like you two are the only people that's in the world. So Miso does give you the choice if you want to stay, but he says if you have any like inkling of a feeling to like be with him, and then he starts to leave, but you grab his kimono before he can, and the boys are teasing in the background because they're like, oh my god, Miso waiting for somebody, Miso coming to God.
They're over here like, oh, what in the Hallmark movie? This is like amazing.
And
Have your little moment. Main character over here.
they act.
Yeah, it's the best.
We love it. We love it. Oh my god. And then like they're like, we know what she's going to say because you're gripping his kimono like it's the lifeline. You should just go with him. Go get him, girl.
Hmm.
So you end up letting go, and then like because you're like overthinking things, and he grabs your hand instead, and then he takes you.
Of course.
Yeah, you realize that Misao also has eye bags, and that he's also a mess. He also looks a mess too. He hasn't been painting either, and he reminds you that you're the only one allowed to in his studio, and you're the only one allowed to clean it. Because you're like, why didn't you get a maid to clean up in here? And he's like,
You're the only one for me, baby. Miso's the type to do the guitar meme. I love you. I ain't never gonna stop loving you.
so Miso lays down and tells you he was right about your fortune and love, that you end up loving somebody who's lazy.
Hmm.
And then um, he tells you that he's not your dream man, and asks if you really want.
Hmm.
You tell Miso that you used to dream of guys like Mogi. He's the one that you love.
Aww.
A shameless and lazy man. You tell me and that he's actually kind and can see people's true selves. This wasn't some slow burn for him. This love was not slow burn. It happened all at once, one day.
I believe it because it was just a real fast. Okay, you're gonna be here 24/7 now.
Yep, yep, yep. And it was just it. And then when he realized how familiar life was with you, He didn't like losing you. Losing you made his whole world feel off, and it messed him up when you were gone, which surprises you, and
Mm-hmm.
surprised him too.
Mm-hmm.
You tell him that you love him, and then he pins you to the floor and tells you that you've been special to him for a long time now. And then he teases you about the position you're in.
Of course. It's a long story.
All
My
right.
my one of my aunts stole it from a movie theater when Trolls first came out. And we just have it in the living room.
So,
Maybe the way you were sitting.
ugh. Yes. But he teases you about the position you're in, and he tells you that he can't let you go now, even if he wanted to. Even if you run.
Mm-hmm.
You're run. That's it. And then he kisses you, and y'all make out. And then he asks you to hold you a bit longer as y'all watch the plum net.
Oh, that's so cute.
You're not pop.
You know what? I'm okay with it because it's actually a good story. The only thing I had to look forward to in Kissed by the Baddest Bitter was the possibility of sleeping with him. That's all. Because, like, I was sitting there and I was dreading the whole thing, but this one is super cute. Love it. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, he's not bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just the initial.
Yeah, it's just the initial, like, once you get.
Yeah.
So, in the favorite bold, which pay for,
Mm-hmm.
God, I hate. I hate it. I hate I had to pay for it. It was crap.
Yeah.
I paid for crap.
Mm-hmm. Are you serious?
Yeah, because
Oh.
it's like, because the stories on Love 365 are 400 coins, which I earn all my coins in.
Mm-hmm.
But to buy the endings,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So basically that's 700 coins if you don't get the ending set.
Jeez.
Well, I mean it's 4 or 5 years later, and I finally bought it. But
Mm-hmm.
so the favorite bold, this collecting his cat instead. I think I just didn't want to write pussycat.
That's fair.
Yeah, I wanted to write. And then he goes on about how he doesn't want
Okay.
you chase after.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I said this ending is horrible. What
Yeah.
crap?
Like what?
You chase after him. The men banter in. Back to the inn, and then you guys reminisce about the first night that you guys met. And he tells you he didn't want to tie you down, and it scares him because it.
Okay. Okay.
And he thinks that cats are like free and don't
Oh
ever want
no.
to be tied down.
Oh, tough flashbacks. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. He means a metaphorical cat,
Yeah,
but not like
like
Schrodinger's cat. We know that you're there. Yeah. Okay. I was so scared for a minute. Ota has messed me up.
it's funny because you had to get through amnesia memories with Toma.
I blocked Toma out of my mind. You know what? They both messed me up. I completely blocked him out. I had to think about who the hell you were talking about. Oh, dog cage dude. Okay, anyways, he thinks of you as a cat. And he was scared to
Yeah,
lock.
yeah. He just wants you to be free, free.
He could have just said a bird.
Attack on Titan.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about.
So yeah, and he didn't want to tie you down. So, but not having you around unsettled him, and he felt like he had to find you when you left, and that when you're not there, he has to. His heart and head was a mess without. Was like he basically gave up the deals.
Mm. I like
You
the
confess. You confess that you only thought he saw you as a model, and Misao agrees that in the past he would have only saw you as a model. when you asked him how he saw you. And he's been in denial. You ask to be with him, and he asks you if you're sure.
Mm-hmm.
And when you confirm that, he pecks you on the lips.
Of course.
And then he's like, the cat's welcome.
He was
so.
Wow.
'Cause-
Dang. Getting attitude even from the cat.
And then he teases you and go play.
Damn, that's it. Damn.
So, because I episode. So, the bonus episode, you're in the bath that night and you're like trying to figure out what to tell the others because you're back at the inn and they don't know why and you're just there.
Mm-hmm.
Because what?
I don't know. Mm-hmm. Being all dramatic about it.
Yeah. So Misao has you staying.
Oh.
So you get.
Nice.
And you start thinking back about how you felt about Misao when you left and like.
Mm-hmm.
It's Misao and he shushes.
Whoa.
And after you freak out a little bit because.
Mm-hmm.
And Misao's like, duh.
Yeah, but he never takes a bath that night.
He's knowing you're judging him. He knows him. He's like, okay. I mean, like, he's like, you wanted me to be on normal people's schedule today. So I gotta.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's like, let's bathe together. And you try to get out the bathtub because you're like, no, this is not happening.
Oh, so you overheated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You do hear Misa's worried scream.
Man is screaming like a little girl.
Yeah. So you wake up and he's fanning you. You wake up in his room and troublemaker.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes you a minute to realize that you're fully dressed. Like, 1+1 is not.
If 1+1 is 2, and 2 and 2 is 4, then what the fuck is this?
Misao claims he didn't peek at you at all. Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
And bro's like, brave soul. I can do it with my.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Now I really
Yeah.
don't.
No, that was your reaction too.
On my mom.
Right. Yeah. And then he admits to seeing everything. He was like, yeah, I can undress you with your eyes closed, but it's a little hard to close.
Mm.
And he's like, this is fine. It's fine that I saw you naked.
And one day, man is out here like praying. He's like, funny.
Right. And so he asked you what you were thinking about in the tub because you were sighing. And you're like, oh, I was just thinking about how happy I was to be with you. And I'm surprised that you actually love me. And he's like, oh, thank God. Because he was over here like, oh my God, she's thinking about how she regrets picking me. She doesn't actually want to be with me. She realized I am a horrible person.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, nah, man, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
And then Miso tells you,
Mm.
yeah.
New elixir.
And then he teases you and kisses you softly and tells you that this is a game that he really loves you. End.
Aww.
Now his point of view. So POV1, Miso was pissed that when he had to take you in and he was kind of like test at night.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he claims he saw you as just green, which wasn't pretty to him, and he was barely paying attention to anything that you were saying and anything that you were doing as you were freaking out about what was going on
Mm-hmm.
when he was like opening up your kimono. Bro said innocence is not his thing, and he wants complexities. But yeah, he gives you a hickey anyways. He's like maybe I'll make her.
Mm.
He did not want to paint you. He was so uninspired. He was just like, oh my god, I can't. I don't want this woman.
Mm.
Why did you laugh?
Mm.
And he's like, I'm so envious of her little black and white life. Everything's just clean. So later on, he's looking for men. He finds you in the courtyard. And, like, you're crying while sleeping.
That's funny.
So the cat's giving him a dirty look. And he's like, dude, I don't want to take care of her. No. And the cat's just looking at him. And he's like, okay, fine. I'll take her in. Think for her.
Mm.
So yeah.
That cat is his moral compass.
Yep. And then he kind of feels bad that you're crying in your sleep. And he's like, damn, I kind of feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't promise that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So POV 2. Misao sees you constantly showing up in his life as like destiny.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like when you're like this whole conversation with himself is happening while you're trying to what's it called? Clean the cat.
Mm-hmm.
And he noticed that you are a hardworking person and he kind of to help you. He's going to, help you get some friends. So while he was doing the little fortune telling, he is worried about your ideal type. He's like, girly, that's unrealistic. He's like, that man does not exist. You can and he does agree with the woman empowerment, but he knows he doesn't have an opinion. He's like, that's not my place. I just need to shut up. Let
You know what? Slay on the feminism.
And Miso's like, men who offer you everything with nothing in return are suspicious to him. And those are like the worst kind of men to him.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Which is kind of funny. Anything. Yes. But he does hope your unicorn of a dream man comes.
Aww.
Man. PLV3. So, this is like during the paintings. He's kind of like always grateful for your timing when you came sessions with Bigfoot. And man said, when he's finished painting, I said, and
Dang.
and he knows that Asagiri knows on between him and you. And he's like, I know she knows, but she's too proud to say anything, so she's never gonna say anything at all. You as leverage.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's also like, if anything did happen and she did get upset on him,
Mm-hmm.
it, which he was right. It never did come.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's the one has ever asked him why he painted before, and his impression of you was changing because you asked that question,
Of course.
which is surprising because none of the guys in Kiss My either.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he's also thankful that you just kind of listen to him, that you don't like pry into his life or like prod for questions. You just listen, and he's glad. But he's also conflicted as to why he lets you watch him paint, because he's like, you're the only person that's ever watched me paint that's not like my model. Weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that's coming in. But like the night Asagiri had enough, Misa thought he just wanted her off him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man was on the edge, as I said before. So, POV 4. You speaking up stopped him from icing himself off from the rest of the world. He was about to cut himself off. He was about to cut off all emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, Mr. Color changing too. And he was grateful for the interruption. Because he's like, I can see colors.
Mm-hmm.
I can see colors. Miso knew you wanted to save his work, but he also knows it's more than that, so that's why he asked you if it was just his artwork you wanted to save.
Mm-hmm.
And he's super serious about painting you now because he's like, I want to paint this girl while she's on like the cuff where she's leaving out of beard. He's a painter. Painter thing.
Painter thing. I don't know about that, but
So after painting you every night,
Mm.
while drawing you, bro, yeah,
yeah, they're for real bedroom eyes.
yearns for you. He's acutely aware that you love him, and he knows that you're unaware. Disgusted, which is so weird to hear. He's like,
It's definitely weird to hear. I guess that's fitting for his character.
and then he's like, he's sitting here wondering when you're gonna get desperate for him.
Mm-hmm.
Miso knows that he doesn't that you love him. PLV 5. Miso was thinking back on how Mr. Mogi wants to free you, quote unquote free you. And he's like, why is this man acting like you're in a prostitution ring?
Mm-hmm.
Like, dang.
Exactly.
And he's also aware that Miss weird obsessive way. And a
Mm-hmm.
creepy. Let's
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
yeah. But confess to him. He was also aware that like that night, that day when Mr. Mogi came, you were on the verge. So it's time for your relationship to end, because you want to pin him. He doesn't want you to leave, but he knows that you wanted him to tell you to stay, and that you wanted him to do all the heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm.
But he refuses to do that because it'll tie him down, and he can. That man knows that man is otherwise. Miso thinks he'll only cause you pain, and that Mr. Mogi will be happier for you. Being with you was a mistake. So when you leave, he can't paint at all. He has no drive. The world is muted without you. He's missing.
Yeah. He was like, I set you up perfectly with her, and now you're ignoring. I'm dipping. I'm dipping till you get her back.
And then he's over here trying to call out to his cat like, it wasn't meant to be. She wasn't meant to be with me. I wasn't meant to tie her down. Why you gotta leave?
Exactly. Instead of pleading with your cat for forgiveness.
So Kyosuke comes and visit him and lets Miso talk out how he feels because he's like, yeah, I'm here in my my
Mm.
cobbler shoes.
Mm.
Yes. And then he tells Miso, dude, this life that you live right now is a cage. It's its own cage. You have your routine that you do every single day.
Mm-hmm.
But
He's
you
spitting.
had a little come in, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you had a little cat come in, mess everything up.
Mm-hmm. Dang. Kiyosuke is spitting facts right now. He's not holding back.
And then he's just here like, so, what are you gonna do about it? Like, get her back.
Mm-hmm. Dang. Oh my god.
And I think I should just accept that I love you. He's thinking this as he's painting you. Yes, confess to him.
Wow. No.
And Miso then tells you that he hasn't painted anyone since you left, and that he's only inspired to paint you.
Aww.
As you're confessing, he admits to himself that he's yours and only yours, no one else's. And he doesn't let.
Oh, that stubborn bitch.
Yeah, he wanted to be the one to say it first.
Okay.
So, the painting that he made, he wanted to make sure it was perfect. So he has no regrets and he can keep a painting of you with him.
Aww.
And that is the end.
Oh, that's really cute. I love this. This is an artist I can get behind. Never. Never, never,
It's
never.
so funny. It's so funny, like, the differences.
Yeah. Because like there's some things that are like, okay, yeah, that's similar. But then it's just so much better.
Are way, way better.
Yeah.
If we're gonna follow the same, like, lineage of, like, going how we went with the
Okay. I'm okay with
just
doing that.
because just Soru
Okay.
get to
Okay.
him. I don't think anybody's really. I mean, like, Tsukumo is kind of like dudes
Mm.
not trying to talk to people.
Yeah. That makes sense.
What a man.
Wolfman.
Which I've only police gets called on us.
Oh shit. All right then. That'll be an interesting story.
I mean,
Oh goodness. Okay. It's great. It's great. I, amazing.
oh,
Oh, of course. They can't have one of these and not have the half white dude who's blonde. Yeah. 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 He's that's still blonde. I hate to break it to you,
the
but
fact that you respond.
as someone who comes from a blonde family, platinum blonde is like peak blonde. That's like the most blonde you can be.
Yep. So we do have our blonde dude. I'm not gonna tell you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna eventually out. Yeah. I have a feeling that the half white dude is going to end up being Kiyosu. I don't know why, but I've got that feeling because I just his personality. I'm narrowing it down because I know it's not Miso. I know it's not the store dude, and who was at the store with him.
The store was.
Yeah, so it's none of those. So it's either the captain or Kiyosu, and I have a feeling it's not.
I mean, I'm gonna have to give you that one because I mean, like, historically speaking, it wouldn't make sense for him white because
So,
this is also during. I'm pretty sure this is also during the time we're restricted
mm,
because they had a.
they said no. Plain as
And
day.
then even then, super Christian
Super super.
in
Okay, then.
unless you were like Russian or something, which you can't.
That's true. Because Russia is fucking huge.
And Russia is right next to.
All right,
But
but
yeah,
that was a good story. I enjoyed that one. That one was a good one.
I mean, once you get out,
Yeah. Once you get past the first part, it's all good.
I was like, maybe not read this. 3 chapters. I was like,
Yeah. But it's really good. I like that. He is my favorite artist. 10 out of 10.
so far. I
So
don't
far.
think there. I don't think there's like really any more like.
Okay. I mean, I guess
I,
that because their professions are a huge part of like why they are where they are.
yeah, and why their story the way they are
Mm.
because half of the story wouldn't be able to happen if Rich Lord.
Yeah. You see, that's another thing. He's royalty, but he doesn't live like he's always at the inn. So my guess is it's like a taboo. The
Well, Chaos is not
royal.
always at the end. He's always
Mm.
just because he can, but he's not always there.
Oh, okay.
He has a lot in his hands.
Of course, very much so. He has no time for stuff he doesn't want to do.
Time to help his friends out.
Mm. Yeah. For lifers.
I can't believe that man really whole story just because his friend.
Yeah. I mean, if you have the money, I guess, but no, not at all. Right.
But we do get sequels for Misao and Takahista, the captain.
Woo!
Those are the ones that get sequels. Everyone else haven't got sequels. One day they'll give them sequels.
Yeah, that's fair.
I bought every single story
Dang.
in there. Yeah, stories.
Yeah. The whole series and not just like certain routes.
Yeah, the whole series is great. Read it so well.
Mm-hmm. Even for the time period.
I mean, you still have those other people around you, but
Yeah. But you're
your
not.
main love interest is not hating you. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was Misao's story
It was
and
great.
epilogues.
Woo! Soon
Woo!
ish.
And I think we'll do the special story as well. I gotta see how many chapters that is. I think there are 4,
Okay.
which will make it around sequel stories.
Okay. Sounds all fair for love and
I think that's what it's called.
okay. Oh, okay. I know what you're. I thought you were talking about the term.
I
And
think that's the title.
okay, that makes sense.
But they also come with their own little prologue too. So I think that's actually the 4th episode. The prologue and then 3.
Got okay. Sounds good. Because I'm not free for the next like week and a half.